1997, a group of dedicated local artists pooled their creative resources and started a studio collective. Calling themselves the Trailway Art Colony, they set up their working studios in a building on Douglas Street, just south of Dunedin's Main Street business district. However, due to the unfortunate fire a few years later, the colony went through a transformation, changing its location as well as its name to the Imago Group. Since then, some of the original members have left the group, but new members have also come in, and now the collective is known as Stirling Art Studios and Gallery. The present location is the entire second floor of the renovated Stirling Commons building at 730 Broadway in the heart of downtown Dunedin. That's where we are tonight, visiting the collective of 10 working studios headquarters for the Miniature Art Society of Florida and Penny Lane, the ultimate Beatles collection. We invite you to visit the gallery and their studios. It is a wonderful place to be. We visit often, and today we bring the resident artist to you. Welcome to the Stirling Art Studios and Gallery.
In those days, all right, back in 07, 08, 09, okay. And I had my own studio at my house, and then we bought another house, and I said, well, maybe I'll come here and have a studio. They asked me if I wanted to, the people that were running things at the time. So I got in here for that, and but this was a studio, and so was the Beatles. That was also, jewelry and things that they make three-dimensional stuff, right? And then of course the gallery, the gallery was already established, and so were the other artists that were here. And so there's only one other gal here that's been from the whole time it's worth, okay? And it started off slowly. We were fortunate enough to maybe have 3 months ahead, where we had groups coming, because we would have an art show every month, okay? And on those months that we didn't have an art show, somebody from outside of us, in the area, then we had to put our artwork up on the walls out there, right, in the gallery space, and we had to pay for it too, per piece, right? Well, over time, things start, and things just don't suddenly become this big deal, right? You work into that,
Right.
So over time, it became very much of an interest to the people here in the community. A lot of art groups are here in the area, and then also solos, of course. So there were some solo shows and some more art groups, and people were seeing the excitement about having a place to put their artwork in this area, right? So that they could every month, boy, well, then we could maybe do it every year, and actually that's how the ball started rolling. So now we're at least 2.5 years ahead.
So we are today, Laura.
Hi.
Vincenti.
Vincenti.
All right, Laura Vincenti at the Stirling Gallery here in Dunedin, Florida,
right.
gorgeous Florida, and you have a studio that you share with your husband.
I do, and we get along. Isn't that wonderful? We enjoy sharing together in this studio. Oh, glass beads up here giving that translucent appearance along with the acrylic paint that I used. And I really try to work with a more of a sculptural design on my work as to just having the flat surface to paint on a canvas.
How long have you been here at the Stirling Gallery? How long have you guys had a studio here?
We have been here a bit over 8 years.
So
That
it's
would be
really
good.
what is, we find the allure of the Stirling Gallery is that community
is.
that you guys have within.
And it's a good
And you've been here for
community.
8 years. Again, what is
Yeah,
it that keeps you here then?
probably. I'm sorry?
What is it that keeps you here rather than having a studio elsewhere by yourself or at home? What is it that makes this one so special?
I
8
think-
years is a long time.
I think what makes it so special for myself, I cannot answer
No,
for my
you.
husband.
For you.
But I can answer for myself, and that is the solitude of being able to come to a studio. And if I'm really getting into a project, if I have a commission, it's hard to do commissions at home, especially if they're rather big. And so if I'm working on a commission, I can come and close that door and be alone and really get one with my thoughts, figure out how I'm going to do the commission, start the commission, and then for those days that you don't have a commission and you want to experiment, and this is the experiment that I'm doing.
I'm gonna zoom in on this so we can't possibly show all that wonderful layers that we've got going on here that you, ladies and gentlemen, that you can see in person, but you really have a great idea.
For all of the artists out there that have canvases that you feel like it wasn't going right for you, and you keep on putting on paint, or you keep on putting on texture, and you keep layering it, this is the exact example of layering. And what I'm doing now is deconstructing it, and I'm going to try to see what is in here under all those layers I put on. I never got to the point of being satisfied, and there comes a point you have way too many layers on, for which I did. And so as you can see, I've gone down to the raw canvas. I pulled it all off here, and by doing that, I'm giving a whole nother depth to this. What color I'm gonna paint this, I don't know. I'll probably use gesso
We'll just have to come back and see
on that to try to cover up the
and
raw.
check up on Laura
The raw
Vincenti. Did you see how I made that rhyme? Woo!
Yeah.
All right, getting
So
down to
that's-
the real layers of it all.
So you can see, it's just art. Having a studio here takes the fear out of just trying something new. And as an artist, many times we get stuck in a rut or a routine. And it's important to push ourselves to that point of wanting to experiment. Now, am I going to have something worth keeping here? I have no idea, but I'm going to have fun deconstructing.
I am Betty Cyberlick, and I am an artist here. I've been here almost 10 years to Stirling. I feel so much at home, I almost forget to put on my name tag. But my email is heart. This is my life here. I basically, everything I do seems to be, starts with the drawing, and it all evolves into all the printmaking, whether it's wood blocks or etchings or just wood carvings that I love to do. Thank you.
Stirling.
I've been a resident artist here for almost 10 years. I moved from upstate New York, but people will ask me, oh, how long have you been doing this? I am the youngest of 4 girls, and when I was in about 3rd grade, the only thing I wanted was a jigsaw. This is an example of, if you can see it, is an example of the hands on the piper, the bagpipes. And this then was used for a print, which is used the cover design for the Dunedin Highland Games several years ago. I went with the city to Stirling, Scotland, which is our sister city in Scotland. I went with the city group, and that background is a Stirling Castle tartan, which the Stirling Castle tartan, which I spent almost a whole week finding. I bought it, I brought it home, I photographed it, and a silkscreen artist put it on the paper for me, and I printed over it with my wood block. But everything is direct, and I just really love doing it direct with a ballpoint pen. I really never use pencil first, and a pencil you can erase, but I don't think I ever want to erase what I put down. I do it intuitively, and even with all the wood blocks, these are worked out, but first I did the drawings. So.
What does it mean to you to be a part of this community that has been built here with all the different studios you have here at Stirling?
I'm very proud of being here. We started when I came 10 years ago. We had almost nothing here. People who were here first would not agree with me, but we had very poor lighting. We didn't have decent display racks, way to display. We didn't have anybody lined up to do shows on a monthly basis. Now we have contracts for a couple years in advance. People love showing. We have a wonderful second Friday opening, which we all want to attend. We take turns opening and closing, and we with this pandemic, we have less hours, which is too bad. But the city comes in, people come in, and it surprises me on a regular basis. People say, oh, this is wonderful. We never knew that this was here. Oh, this is exciting. And it is exciting to be part of this art family, which I just isn't, it's very few other places. People say, oh, they have this and that, but we're here in Dunedin. We love Dunedin. We love the city. It's has grown with us, and I'm very proud to be here at Stirling.
Hi, I'm Wendy Davis. I have a studio here at Stirling Studios. I am number 6. This is my actually 3rd studio I've been in this building. We have a board of directors. I am the secretary, so I get to write all the notes to remind everybody what to do. So we meet once a month. We have a gallery. So we have monthly shows. We have new artists that show every month. And we have studios, and we are open 4 days a week. And we have the Beatles Museum and the, miniatures.
The miniatures, yes, the miniatures. I'll definitely get those on film.
Yes.
So how long have you had a studio here? You said this is not your first?
This is my 3rd studio I've had here, yes. I started on the other side when they first opened about 11, 12 years ago. And then I moved out of town, then I came back and I shared the studio on the back hallway with Margaret. And then I quit for another year, and then I came back and this studio happened to be available. And I'm very happy here. So I like having my own space.
Tell us about your artwork.
I am a collage artist. I like and acrylic. So sometimes I like to just paint, but a lot of times I like texture. I like to build things out, and just it kind of finds itself. Sometimes I have a purpose. Sometimes I have a meaning that I want to convey, but mostly I like to just experiment and see what happens. Or I'll have an idea that I start with, and then I find papers like I have on my desk. I have all kinds of different papers, and I'll put them all together and create whatever comes up.
Where can they contact you, Wendy Davis?
They can
Best
contact
Bud?
me at my email address is wendybdavisart@yahoo.com or wendybdavisart@yahoo.com.
We're gonna have to find her card
Yeah,
somewhere.
right.
Okay. Thank you so much, Wendy, for letting us film with you today in your beautiful studio. I know that we'll be seeing a lot more of you.
Good. Thank you for coming. We appreciate you guys.
Hello.
Hello. Hi.
My name is Brenda Matson, and I'm an eminent master pastelist. And I'm here in Dunedin, Florida with my little gallery and my new friends. And
And we're so delighted to be here. So tell us about Brenda and your love for pastel.
Well, I started painting when I was 7 years old. My mother was a famous pianist, and she was always working and playing, and so I was always sent to my room because they always had band members over, and so I took up drawing. And my grandfather was an artist who repaired murals, so he saw that I had an interest, and he bought me my first set of oils and stretched canvases for me, and I started painting. And I was hooked from then on. In school, I got away with drawing historical events and going on trips and doing caricatures of students, and it was a fun way to grow up, just painting and drawing. And at 17, I went to work as an illustrator. I was in college, and the teacher, my dad, had said I could not bring any abstract work home, and if I did, her husband wouldn't have a job because he worked for him. So she wanted me gone in a hurry, and so she helped me put a portfolio together, and I went to the local chain of department stores and applied and was hired that day. So they had me part-time until I could finish with that semester of college, and then I was a full-time artist.
From then on, and how many years?
I worked for them for a few years until I got married, and then we lived in Oklahoma, and I just painted for myself. And had 4 kids, and I never gave up painting during that time. I'd have an easel in the living room, and remember one time I went into the kitchen to get something, and when I came back, the kids had painted the dog green with oil paints.
That's amazing. Now, how long have you had a resident studio here at Stirling?
I came here exactly a year ago.
So you are new today?
Yeah.
Oh, happy anniversary, Brenda. That's why we're here today. We're filming your anniversary interview.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Your next door neighbor also has been here for years, so you guys are fairly new.
Yeah.
So, well, what made you choose then, Stirling?
Well, I was up in Michigan, and I was traveling all over the world because at that time I was working with a big manufacturer, and he would send me to different conventions to teach workshops. And 50 some years ago, I had fallen in love with pastels, so they were my favorite medium.
They're my favorite too.
And so I was teaching all over the country as well as abroad. So it was an exciting time being able to travel to Ireland and England, and I think my last trip was 3 years ago to Cornwall before the pandemic. So my husband decided to retire, so I always wanted to live in Florida my whole life. I'd come down here many times. So we moved. We came down here to find a place. We went everywhere to figure out where we wanted to live in Florida. And the minute I saw Dunedin, I knew that it was the place I wanted to be.
It's
So-
a nice arty little town it is here.
Yes. And so I started looking around for we were going to open our own studio, but we came across the Stirling here, and it was just a perfect opportunity to come in here and hang my work and display with these other wonderful artists and to start a life here.
Is it the community and the resident artists that make Stirling Gallery so special?
Oh, I think so.
Me too.
We all get along so well, and it's just everybody helps everybody out, and it's a nice place to be.
What do you think art has taught Brenda?
It's taught me how to love myself and to love other people, and it's gotten me through a lot of hard times, and it's just made my life what it is. I've always lived for painting, and I have a wonderful husband and family, but I do love my art.
It shows, and thank you so much for talking with us today. What would you say to new artists out there, especially in 2021 during a pandemic? I believe that art has the power to heal all things. Would you agree?
I certainly do. I've been through some serious illnesses, and it's what kept me going. And anybody new to art, just please dig in and try whatever medium you can, and especially pastels.
Especially pastels.
Yeah.
Thank you so much again for sharing your story with us and for sharing the beauty of Stirling Gallery and its community. We'll see you again soon, yeah?
Yeah.
My best bud. She's my pastel pal now.
Hi. I didn't see you coming in. My name is Dina Marie, and I'm a pet artist. I just became part of the Stirling Art Gallery about a year ago, and I enjoy it. I love it. I've met so many beautiful people. The artists here are just amazing. I've made so many new friends, and I've actually met a lot of people from all over the world and, around the United States just coming into our studio. We have a great networking marketing
Or community.
Community. We have a great community, but we also have great social media. We're promoting ourselves, and we're getting to be a little, more known, not just in our county, but all over the Gulf Coast of Florida. So we do get people from all over, and it's just been a really great experience. I just enjoy it so much.
I understand that you're one of the newest.
I am.
Residents.
I came in last July. I was so grateful. I got on this list. I thought it would be a really, really long waiting list, which it was, and it was quite a process to get in, but when I got chosen, I was flattered. I just felt like, wow. I knew it must be meant to be. It was like right around my birthday I got in, so it was a great birthday present, and I'm just so thrilled. I can't tell you how much this means to me. This is the first time I've ever been involved in a group like this,
That's what makes the Stirling so unique and so special. Will you tell us about your beautiful pet portraits?
Sure. Well, I've been a pet artist most of my life. I started at 7 because I've always been a fanatic with my own animals. And in high school, it's interesting because I didn't go to college like most people. I'm self-taught, but in high school I had the best art teachers. And one in particular had us doing the anatomy of the dog, and I think I learned, believe it or not, in high school I learned so much. And then I took it, upon myself to start doing colored pencil drawing. So I was like in my early 20s drawing colored pencil dogs and cats, and I kind of put it aside for a while. I got into some sign making, and I was a vintage sign painter for many, many years. And what happened was I lost pets, and I started to paint my pets, and that turned into a whole new ball of wax for me. I ended up with so many custom orders, and I do a lot of pet portraits throughout the year. I do pet memorials. I illustrated a book about a homeless dog, which I really enjoyed, and it's Roxy's Forever Home. And I'm thinking I'm going to do more books. I enjoyed it. It was fun, and that's how I got into more whimsical, bright colored paintings. So it's a little different than my pet portraits. My pet portraits are very realistic. I paint from photographs, and I try to duplicate the animal. This was my Labrador Dalton, and I'm a big Labrador fan. I'm an actual adoption counselor for Labrador Retriever Rescue of Florida, and I enjoy helping animals in many, many ways.
It shows in your art the love for the animals. It really does. I
Thank
see
you.
that we have
Thank
a
you.
beautiful small studio, but it is so spacious when you walk in. You feel like you can have a party in here. It's lovely. And again, one of the reasons why we are so attracted here to Stirling are these little nooks, artist nooks, if you would, that you have here. Tell us what it means to you to be part of this community now. You're the newbie here. We heard from Miss Betty, we heard from Laura, we heard from Wendy.
Well, I just feel honored to be chosen, like I said, because I really feel like you have to be special, and you have to be different, and you have to be outgoing also. You want to be very personable to people. So I kind of feel like I was chosen because of many different qualities, and I just feel honored. I'm just so grateful to be here with this great group of artists.
And we're honored to be here with you today. Thank you so much for allowing us into your beautiful studio. How can our listeners and viewers get in contact with you?
Well, if they don't come up to our studio, they can always find me on my website, www.paintedbydina.com. And I also have an Etsy shop where I sell most of my note cards and greeting cards and prints are on Etsy. So you can just look for Painted by Dina shop.
Thank you again, Dina, so much for having us.
Well, thank you so much for interviewing me, and you have a wonderful evening.
Karen, is there anything you'd like to share with some new artists out there?
New artists out there, you mean?
Or in the world? This radio station is worldwide. No, it isn't. It's WKDW, Real Talk Radio, Northport, Florida. But we do have a wonderful Facebook following, and there's artists all over the world watching us.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
what's
we
the
have
best advice
Facebook.
you can give?
We keep painting.
Keep painting.
Keep painting and creating.
Creating.
Curating. You could curate too.
We
We'll
okay.
make the combination, right? Creating.
Creating and
It's been a long day. It's been a long day for me. I've been doing a lot of things over here today, so.
Thank you so much for letting
Thank
us
you for
come in
coming
and film.
and wanting to include us. I can see where this is going to grow into something very important for Northport and for us and for other artists in the area. This is a great art community here.
Yes, it is.
And the arts are starting to really shine out